Hi again. So today I will be showing you how does Avokado's AI work and how to get it working. The process is pretty straightforward and because all we really have to do is create a set of questions, variables that we are interested in. And then we can start importing the documents. To start off, I will show you how easy it is. So let's get to it. Today we start from the very beginning. So I will go to navigate to V2 automation because this is the only with what the AI works. And I will start with creating a new document type. Document type is like an umbrella for several documents. So a very good example is that under HR, there are employment agreement amendment, termination, etc. And this means that the information between those templates underneath this one umbrella / document type can move from one to another and also are connected. I will create a new document type. This is called vendor agreements. I will make it purple. And I will mark that there are at least two businesses in this case. One of them is service provider. And yeah, I would like to have information on one representative. Service provider in this case would be a counterparty, meaning the external party. I, of course, can rename the questions here as well if I feel like it, but I cannot remove them because these are all the information inside the document type. But I can, if I do want to create a template on this side, I can remove also the list of questions here. And the other one is customer. So this means that this would be us. So we will not mark the counterparty. Then next up, I will navigate to Smart Field Sets. In this case, I have already created quite a lot of Smart Field Sets, but the good thing is that I can reuse them. So I see here there is agreement details. I can have a look. It contains the following variables called agreement number, amendment number, document date, amendment date. Well, this can be applicable. So I will also choose my now vendor agreements, the one that I just created, and save. Now this smart field set is added to this document type, and it, as we can see, it can be at several at the same time. But in this case, I want to add also other information. For example, I will call it agreement content. Again, I will choose vendor and I will create text questions. I want to know content of contract. So, or perhaps description of service provided. Period of services. For this agreement content, this suffices. I will have description of services provided and period of services, and I will save. Of course, I can add as many as I like, but in this case, I would like to have a separate smart field set regarding the termination of contract. And I will start adding again the date, contract and date, renewal terms, and perhaps that's it. I save again. I figured out that I also want to add here a question on the responsible person, because then I can keep track on who is responsible for it. And what is also important for me is the fee for services. Here I can also realign them. Yes, then once I am done, I save. And when I am done, there's nothing else to do. Now I will navigate to AI Copilot. I will upload the files. I upload two different ones. Both of them are signed. One is, let's say, a regular PDF that contains handwritten or digitally written and placed signatures, and the other one is an Estonian digidoc Asita file. I will choose what kind of agreements they are. I will choose my vendor agreements. And here I can already choose also where do those go. I have a specific folder for this, and I will, once they are done, they will go there. Then I click send to AI. They will go to the processing queue, and we can wait for a bit until they reach done. It normally takes about a minute or so. And once they're done, they will disappear from processing queue and move to done documents. And there they are. I will click on the agreement. And what we see is that on the left-hand side is the document, and on the right-hand side, there is the variables that we just now created. So I will check into this the following way. We see there is company name, Vallokas, and we check, yes, this is correct. The registry code indeed is as well for the service provider. There is the support contact, that's fine. Representative is correctly exported. My bike with the email and the position. There is also the customer details, avokaado.com. We see there's also indeed the person's email. A representative is correctly with also the position. We see that not all variables are answered, especially in this case, and this is because, well, this information hasn't been mentioned there. And now we can check for the vendor agreement details. So we see that there is no amendment date in this case, but there is a document date, which is correctly here. Agreement number, this is also correctly here. Termination, it says 3 months notice. I can also use Command or Control F to search further the contact info, because even though it is a Zita file, it is still readable. We see 3 months and nice, this is suitable. Renewal terms. Well, there is no, in this case, there is no renewal terms because it is entered into without a term. So what I can, if I would like to add this here, then I can do so without a term. And if I agree, I just click on the green button. There is no contract end date, fees for services. We see indeed total fee per month, correctly excluding VAT. Responsible person on the customer side. We can quickly check here. Indeed, Joosep Jaksab, period of service and description of services provided, payment services. And indeed, if we look at here, payment services, indeed, the rest, in this case, we also see that this contract actually mentions several services which have not been applied. So it correctly extracted this fact. And once I have reached the end of the questionnaire, I click confirm and save. If I do think that there are some variables that AI should have found, then I can actually redo the certain line. And now I would automatically navigate to the other document. Okay, Civikeskus. I check the details again. Everything seems to be fine. Yeah, seems good. Now let's see at the contract side now. Document date. Indeed, it is today's date. There is no amendment number. There is no agreement number. Termination terms. So there are no specific termination terms, but if I, for example, would like to mention that there is a possibility to step out of the contract in case of if the obligations are not met. I can mention it here if needed, but if not, then not. Then not. Then I can check the fees. Let's have a look. And we see that this costs correctly the amount, and period of service is 4 weeks. And we see indeed here it is 4 weeks for the project. And personnel search services. Normally, the AI extracts the information in the language of the variables. So depending on this, you can guide in what language you want it. In this case, we also see that the initial document was in Estonian, while the variables were in English, and hence also everything is in English. So far, I have seen it extract the information very successfully from many, many languages, including Spanish, Czech, etc. When I'm done, again, I confirm and save. And I navigate again to the document. Now, I have several options here. Because the document currently is in draft, although it is signed, I can just possibly mark it as done because this does not require any actions from my side, unless perhaps I do want to add some other documents over here, or perhaps someone within my company still needs to sign it, and maybe it was just signed from one side, then I can easily now add them here. I can always come and navigate to this document data, and I see the information that was extracted for the customer, for the service provider, and also the agreement details, everything that was there. Now, furthermore, of course, I can come to the document and see the document data. In the data registry, we will now get a new overview. I go to document types, I go to vendor agreements, and I can check my vendor agreements. Now I see that there are two contracts, the ones that I just imported. If I click here, I also see the document data. This means also that these parties were generated into my parties registry. I see when were they created. There is also a possibility for updated. And what this means now is if, for example, with CV-keskus or Vallokas OÜ now, I would have a second document that either I import or generate under the same document type called vendor agreements. And perhaps indeed I will have an annex for Vallokas OÜ contract. And what it now enables me to do is that if I upload it via AI as well, then it will add this information to the data registry. Updating the amendment number would be added here, and perhaps the fee has changed in the amendment, or the term, or the termination. So then it would be added and updated here accordingly, and only the variables then that changed. And we see also here there is one document right now, and we can go and navigate there as well. So this is how the AI works, how to get it going, and how you can utilize it. We can very quickly also check into the parties registry. For example, now we also have the CV-keskus and Vallokas over here, and we can click here and we see the related documents to them. So we can always manage our vendors and all the related documents in a single source. And I do hope that you find these features useful. Should you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Always happy to discuss. Thanks and have a good one.